Most medical professionals are literally hemorrhaging money and have no idea. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the source of the bleeding and stop it once and for all. I'm Kristen Burton, a critical care PA, thus the hemorrhagic shock reference, and I went from $161,000 in student loan debt to a millionaire at 31. I've taught thousands of medical professionals how to build wealth, and it always starts with finding the source of the bleeding, which, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with avocado toast or Starbucks. Now, by the way, if you want to be in community with other medical professionals building wealth, go below, get your free access to the Millionaires in Medicine Club. This was a case a couple of years back. A gentleman comes in as a transfer from an outside hospital to our ICU for an upper GI bleed. On arrival, he's hemodynamically stable, no clinical bleeding. Everything's hunky-dory, right? I admit him. I haven't been gone from his room for 30 minutes when a code is called. The gentleman's in PEA, and ROSC is obtained pretty quickly, but he is hemorrhaging. I mean, blood is pouring out of his body, massive upper GI bleed. Now, of course, we're going to resuscitate the patient, right? So we start massive transfusion protocol. The gentleman's getting blood product after blood product, but what will happen to him without source control, right? We all know the answer. We can resuscitate the patient to the ends of the earth, and this gentleman actually ended up getting like 50 units of blood products on my shift alone, but without source control in this non-coagulopathic patient, he will die, right? The same thing is true for you financially. Now, the source of the bleeding isn't what you think. It's not your Netflix subscription. It's not your Starbucks or your avocado toast or whatever. It's the simple fact that your system that you're employing right now, because of where it will lead, is going to cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the back end to make up for the problems that have been caused right now. Let me show you the math behind what I'm talking about. You may have already what you think is an investing system in place. And you might feel like you're doing some things that are going to get you where you need to go financially. But that system itself may be the source of your hemorrhage. Here's some numbers behind this statement. Okay, let's assume you earn $130,000 a year, you're 30 years old, you have $30K invested already, you're consistently putting 4% into a 401k, and you're maxing out a Roth IRA. Very common scenario, right? I hear this a lot from medical professionals, many of whom feel like, hey, I'm doing some stuff. Well, doing some stuff results in you having about half of what you need for a standard retirement. Okay, these calculations assume inflation's at 2.5% annually, 8% return on your investments compounded annually, replacing about 80% of your income. We're ignoring Social Security here. And assuming you're working all the way till 65, right? These numbers are not for an early retiree. That's different math. And as you can imagine, you need to do more, right? And so this system that this person has in play, this is the source of the hemorrhage. I'll explain the numbers in a minute, but you can see that having the wrong system is actually way worse for you than, for example, your Netflix subscription or the fact that you maybe spend too much at Starbucks on a weekly basis. Okay, now let's say maybe you're further along, you're 30, but you've actually hit 100K invested so far. You have the same system though. So that's the plan, right? The 4% in the 401k, the maxed out Roth IRA every year, that's your system. That same system, even with 100K invested at 30, still leaves you this huge deficit of millions of dollars short of where you would need to be. Now, as you can see, looking at that, you're like, oh, wow, okay, the problem is not necessarily that I don't have enough invested at this moment. It's the underlying automated money systems that I have in place. Whether or not I've realized what I've done, that's what I've done. I've created a system that I'm relying upon for my future well-being, and the system is flawed. Now, This is an example of what happens if you're like, okay, I have a system in place. I'm going to stay the course, right? Maybe you don't know better. Maybe you're like, okay, 4% in a 401k, a maxed out Roth, that sounds pretty good. Let me continue this, what we know is a bad plan, right? For 2 years. For you to subsequently catch up, for you to turn that calculator green at the bottom and be able to say, I now actually have a standard retirement that's totally secure. I won't have to make lifestyle cuts in the future. I'll be able to still go out to eat, still, do vacations with the family. That's going to cost you an extra $2,000 per year for 33 years. Meaning the total cost to you of having a bad system is $66,000. So more than anything, your investing system, that is your source control. That's to stop the ongoing bleeding, because as this continues, as you push this out further and further, you put yourself at such a disadvantage that it's almost impossible to catch up the longer that you go. Now, in the clinical vignette we used, that gentleman's source control started with endoscopic therapy that failed and ended with a GDA embolization. And what happened after that? He had a bleeding duodenal ulcer with an arterial bleeder, okay, in the bed. And so what happened? Well, they stopped the bleed. He's resuscitated. After a stay in the ICU and some CVVH, he walked out of that place, right? Because there was source control obtained. That's what happens when you go in, you fix the underlying investing system right away. You stop having the bad plan in play. You start with the good plan, and the total cost to you on the back end goes way, 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 way down, and sometimes even goes to zero. What do I mean? That's called coast fire. If you actually get the system right now and you nail it now, you crush it now, you put yourself in a situation with your investing system that you hit what's called coast fire early, the cost to you on the back end can go all the way down to zero. So what is coast fire if you've never heard of it? It's a situation where you've invested enough that you could just stop investing. Your money would grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And by the time you were 65, you'd have more than enough to retire without you doing anything else. Now, I'm not going to share my exact numbers, but we have hit 3x our coast fire goal, meaning as of now, I'm 33. If we did absolutely nothing else, never invested another single dollar, we would have 3 times our inflation adjusted nest egg goal right here at 65, doing nothing else. Okay, so that means the cost to me on the back end dropped to zero if I want it to, thanks to my really, really, really strong investing system on the front end. Now, with this example scenario, single earner at 130K, same person as before, if they hit 450K invested by 30, look, amount you need to continue to invest per year, nada, $0. All of a sudden, you're still in the green. Your estimated nest egg at 65 exceeds your inflation adjusted goal. That's what's called coast fire, okay? And that's the benefit of getting the correct investing system in play now. Because these kind of things, they're not options for people who wait. That's just the truth. And it's not that I'm being mean, it's just math. The beauty of compound interest is the compounding returns and time. And so for you to be able to say, wow, my money is going to grow enough that I don't have to keep adding to it, you need to hit the big numbers early. Now, you can hit this other ways. Like, let's say you bought a house, you can do some kind of crazy stuff, sell that house you just bought, get all the capital gains free proceeds from the sale, right? The IRS excludes that income from capital gains, and you can invest all of it and go back to renting. You can do things like that to hit Coast Fi, but the truth of the matter is, without you having to go and like sell that beautiful house you just bought or do something like that, you have to have the right investing system in place, and you need to have it now. I cannot express to you the urgency of this, right? Like, if you visualize yourself and your own financial life as being in active hemorrhage, The only solution is for you to get rapid source control. You can add extra income, you can add side hustles, you can negotiate for more pay. All of those are good things. But if you don't fix this one thing, nothing else will matter.